Hello and welcome to Walker Tea Review. We meet once again to explore teas, to taste what's out there, to find out what's worth your purchase and your time in online teas, and to really just kind of foster a spirit of tea appreciation. And that's what we're going to be doing. We've got a nice oolong tea from Rishi tea, and let's go ahead and get this one started up. We're using some of our basic tea equipment. Before I go in too far, I should probably pause and just notice. You may notice as well the little bit of change going on. We're in the process of relocation at Walker Tea Review. I'm going to be coming to you very soon from a new and different setup, so you can look forward to that. But going back to the tea, if you want to join us for a tea tasting, perhaps you're in a position where you're ready to move on to something new, something different as far as tea goes, or expand your palate or your skill even. Right up above, join a tea tasting. You'll find information on equipment like gaiwans. Perhaps you might need a recommendation on, do you want to get a kettle like this one, or do you want a water heater, water boiler type machine that just dispenses water at a rate already heated? Those are nice. Those are a nice convenience. A little more of an investment though. There are also some tea makers that work like a coffee maker, but can be adjusted specifically for teas. But enough on that, we digress. Let's get into this tea. Okay, so I got out my regular teaspoon, basic, very cheap basic tea equipment, something that you could find, at home or at the office if you needed. And this is a tiguanin, so it's a rolled, crumpled up oolong, and when you press it down, it fills up about this whole spoon here. So we add that into our gaiwan, which means Chinese for lidded bowl. Pour in my water. Water's been brought to a low boil, allowed to cool for about 30 seconds. So that gives us our water there. Now some experts, some gongfu, which is this style of tea preparation, will challenge you to or require you to rinse. We're going to forego that step. Rinsing kind of originated back in the time when tea processing areas were more open air, more exposed to the elements, and you had more possibility for dust and things like that getting in. A nice tiguanin, or lots of nicer, higher quality teas today, they're in a processing plant, so they're exposed to less of that dust and other particles. So not always necessary as much as it used to be. Let's talk about this tea. This is Rishi teas, as we said. They're Iron Goddess of Mercy. A 1 ounce package goes for $5.50. This is from the Nantou area or county of Taiwan, which is the only landlocked county of Taiwan. Let's see what else I want to tell you. 20% of sales goes to care. The Nantou region still experiences earthquakes, and kind of within that thought in mind, 20% of the sales go to care, and CARE is an organization working in Haiti to work with earthquake victims there. This offer, or this special activity, is going on through August, so go ahead and pick up your tea and have comfort in knowing that you're helping out CARE International as well. So let's go ahead and talk about this dry leaf. We talk about teas, we talk about 3 areas. The liquor, of course, which is the final step, the wet leaf, and what we're looking at now, the dry leaf. Before I scoop it out, I am going to kind of give it a shake and give it a sniff here. One more time. There's a sweetness there. It's almost like a caramel type sweetness, so that's nice. At the same time, it's almost a little bit woody, a little bit floral, like how should I say, if you could talk about a woody floral, I think about shrubs. The shrubs have the small sweet flowers like English laurel, and yet it still has kind of a thick woody type note to it. And that's what we're getting here, a little bit of caramel, a little bit of like an English laurel blossom. So those are the two dominant notes coming off of the dry leaf. Let's go ahead and get out a few of these leaves. Now this one is labeled a medium roasted. Tijuanine, or Iron Goddess of Mercy, which is what this one is called, is you can have a lightly oxidized, you can have medium, and you can have some that are considered more darkly or deeply roasted, rather, not oxidized, roasted. And because this one's a medium roast, what you see here is you're getting these kind of green, grayish colors. You get every once in a while you get a hint of a little bit of like a very light rust tinge, and that is likely coming from some of the oxidation that's happening to these leaves. But about fairly consistent in color, not a lot of variation in color as compared to some others. You're also seeing that these are crumpled, bald. You're getting a little bit of stem that's coming off, showing this is probably, in some of these cases, more than one leaf rolled together. So that kind of covers that note. I'm going to seal this up because we do want to protect it so that the air doesn't cause it to lose a lot of aroma, flavor, character. Let's go ahead now and get our tea ready to pour. We're going to take a peek there for a second, and those look like those leaves have released some tea flavor here. So standard pouring process: middle finger, thumb on the rim, ring finger back there for support if you need, index finger on top of the lid. The lid is angled over to the side so that you've got an opening for pouring. Hold that lid down firmly and pour like this, turning towards yourself, turning the lid back towards facing yourself, so you can get those last few drops out. Because of the liquor at the bottom of the cup, the gaiwan, it's just like the liquor at the bottom of the teapot, is usually stronger than what's on top. So set that aside briefly so that we can look at these wet leaves, talk about them. Now that roast element is really coming out, there is a bit of almost like a smoky type aroma there. You know, almost kind of like almost like a charcoal type smell. Yet still got a sweetness there. If you had really cooked, crispy, almost burned type of baked apple, that's what you're getting here. Okay, so it does with that apple. I mean, that apple, when I say that, is to have a little bit of sweetness, but still very caramelized, very caramelized caramel that is almost burned as well, scorched. So those are your two smells coming off. Still got a little smell coming off the lid as well. Leaves have become greener looking in appearance, rich green, darker green. Let's see, there's a small leaf. They feel pretty thick into the touch. I'm looking for, now I'm noticing here that leaves are not complete and solid, and so you have some that are ragged, you have some that are kind of rough around the edges. That one's mostly complete. I'm looking for any leaf pairs. Here we are. And what we had noted in the dry leaf, little stem pieces with leaf, third leaf here, 3 leaves coming off of that. Oh, just broke that one, but I'm going to stick it there anyway because it was attached. These leaves, you notice, they're crumpled. Some of them haven't fully opened up, so is likely more than one steeping, although you want to steep that second steeping quite a bit longer than the first. Okay, so you've got some nice, decent leaves. They have, they've opened up. There's not a lot of, there's not much oxidation as far as rust redness appearing on these. Okay, leaves are fairly good condition, not too ragged, not too torn. Okay, and a little bit of thickness there, indicating the maturity of the leaf. But let's proceed. Let's not get stuck too far on that. We have our liquor now, which we have showing up here, kind of holding it up to the lights here. You're seeing that you've got an probably a deep honey, a dark honey type color there. Okay. Nice aroma coming off already. Again, it's a little bit of that caramel type smell. A little bit of honey roasted peanut coming off of that. Okay. Aftertaste has some astringency, light astringency, a bit of sweetness that comes out at the end also. So you swallow, you finish, you think it's over, and then all of a sudden this sweet, almost like a creamy type feel, almost like a butterscotch type feel coming on your mouth in the aftertaste there. So that's quite nice. Medium body. I mean, it's not very thick. It's not thin and watery by any means either. So that's nice. Let's go ahead and give it one more shot. Still, those English laurel smells. A little bit of caramel. A little bit of like a scorched baked apple. Those are the three dominant notes coming off of this. So again, so when you put together those aromas, roasted type notes coming off, we talked about the scorched baked apple, we talked a little bit of caramel, a little bit of English laurel for the floral element. We talk about a sweetness in the aftertaste, a light astringency, and a kind of butterscotch type taste feel in your mouth for the aftertaste. All those really give us a fairly pleasant cup. We could have toned down a little bit on the. I would like to see tone down slightly on the astringency level. But those are seasonal factors, and some of these factors are not necessarily processing. Some of these are seasonal factors. What is a processing factor was the condition of the leaves we talked about here. Overall, quite nice. Unfurled quicker than some others. We talked about how re-steep in previous tastings off camera. Re-steeps needed a little extra punch, needed a little more, quite a bit more time, extended steeping to bring out those consistent flavors and aromas. So I would give this tea probably an 89 for its performance here. Quite good. Far as superior, I mean, it's something to check out. It's nice and safe. It's got some good notes to it, but well, you try it for yourself. You tell me what you think. Come back and join us this week. We're going to be looking at a Longjing. Longjings are going to be the fresh 2010 harvest. Longjings are going to be here very soon. You want to be starting to kind of look at those, get the ones you want so that you get a fresh one and that you get those on time and you find them for the right price. So come back and join us again at Walker Tea Review.